There we go. Okay, so welcome to Study Skills Preparing for an Interview. So my name's Emma Honeyford. So today we're going to talk about it's all going to be around applying for interview skills for in a role play situation. So today we're going to kind of cover just a way to get used to the interview style and to help with our confidence skills. We're going to look at how you can do a role play interview where I can act as the interviewee. So the aim of this is to show how I use, back to the last session we spoke around verbal and non-verbal communication in a realistic interview scenario, and how we'd respond typically to interview questions professionally and confidently. So before we do have a role play interview, we're going to prepare for that. So we'd prepare for it in the same way in which we'd prepare for a real interview. So we can do this by reviewing our CV. So having a look at our CV. If we're applying for a particular role, we can start to connect any particular skills or experiences that connect to the job profile that you're going to apply for. So I find it's always helpful in the past to try and, if any particular role that I'm going to go for, I will try and look through any key strengths and examples that might connect to the job that I'm going to apply for. And then also we would start to prepare answers using the STAR method. So do you remember the STAR method for Stina that we spoke about last week? I don't know if your mute button's on, but I can't hear you.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I remember.
Brilliant, thank you. So today's going to involve us kind of going back over that a little bit. So if you just have that in your mind, did you have a look after the session last week at different
In
examples?
fact, you have to forgive him, pardon me, because I couldn't.
It's okay, don't worry.
It was a whole lot within the week.
Yeah. Do you remember though the key?
Yes, I remember, but
Yeah.
because of the ups and downs,
Yeah. Don't
I
worry. Don't
couldn't.
worry. Yeah. That's fine. But you remember what it is, so that's fantastic. So I made sure that I was dressed appropriately. So for an interview, obviously to dress smart, etc. So I don't think I'd wear this for an interview, even though I'd love this jumper. And it's made from recycled bottles. Would you believe? So yeah, so we'd dress smartly. We'd have a note. So I, in the past, for an interview, have had notes by my side. That really helps to help with my confidence within an interview, and it's a great reminder. Okay, so during a role play for an interview, we'd use a range of non-verbal communication skills to create a positive impression. So there's different non-verbal skills that we can perhaps use within an interview scenario. So we spoke about this briefly last week as well. So maintaining natural eye contact. So it's good to have eye contact to show the human side. Also, not too much eye contact because that can be a bit intense. So the posh are like body language. So making sure that we're sitting up straight, which I should remind myself again today. So sit upright and an open posture, and avoid crossing arms. Just to give general gestures and nods to show that you've understood and that you're listening to the interviewee. To keep the facial expression calm and friendly, which is really hard to do in an interview setting, but you can try your best. And if you are nervous, I found in the past I have fidgets, and my children have fidgets as well too, so they can really help to make me feel calm and helps with the nerves. So a controlled fidgeting to avoid looking nervous. These behaviours can make us appear confident, attentive and professional. Okay, so I'm just moving over now to let's move this over. The use of verbal communication skills. We spoke about this last week also. So, and if our verbal communication skills are so important, so to the tone of our voice, speaking clearly and politely with our verbal communication throughout the role play will be helpful to our chances at getting any potential job role. So we make sure that our tone was steady, my pace was natural, and our answers are well structured. So the STAR method is a really great way to make sure that our answers are well structured. So when the interviewer asks questions, we can respond with examples that link directly to the skills for the role. So again, that's why it's a good idea to have a look through your skills and the job that you're applying for, to kind of prepare potential questions that they may ask, so you can relate it directly to the experience that you've had maybe, and then the what's required for the new role. So it's all connecting. It's like a jigsaw, really. So it's good to have them examples ready if you can think of any beforehand. So as much as it's good as to be verbally communicative, it's also really important to listen carefully. So to not interrupt the interviewer, and to make sure that they finish speaking and ask for clarification when needed. So I think when sometimes, even myself, when we're eager or we're really kind of enthusiastic, we can kind of jump in and jump ahead sometimes. So I have to remind myself, to listen and take a breath, which is always really helpful. So in a role play situation for a potential interview, here are some different examples that we may get in a role play interview. So we've got tell me about yourself. So if I was to ask you now, Christina, would you be able to, do you think you'd be able to give me an answer here?
I can, but hey.
It's a great opportunity for practice, but at the same time, don't worry if you don't want to. That's absolutely fine.
Not that I don't want to. It's like the moment I'm supposed to do, I'm nervous.
Yeah, I got the same. It's like freeze, like go to freeze mode.
Yeah, everything is off my head. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, don't worry. So this is why maybe when you do get time, maybe go away and think about some of these questions or write them down, and then you can then in your own time start to think about and map out, back to the spider diagrams that we've done in other units. Maybe use that method as a way to start to kind of brainstorm what a brainstorm. You could do brainstorm for what all about Christina. Who am I? What do I do? What are your strengths? Like, what are your skills?
Mm.
And just start to really map out who you are as a person and all the positive things. And there are many of them. I know there are. So maybe just do it in your own time when you feel comfortable. But it is
Maybe
really
what I'll do is this. I promise.
okay.
I'll just maybe start doing it on paper and then rehearse it. Then I promise next week I'll do it.
Okay.
It's a promise.
Okay. Well, I'll hold you to that. Scout's promise.
It's
Um,
a promise.
but yeah, it's a really good thing to get a pad and paper.
Because I have to do it because I know very soon, or if not soon, I will be going for interview.
Yeah, yeah.
I know. Because
And this will be great.
I'm looking for jobs,
Oh,
so
are you? Okay.
I'll surely go for interview any moment from now.
So this is going to be great for you as well. And do you know what? I always say, enjoy it. Enjoy the process, because it's not easy. It is nerve-wracking, but it's all part of your growth and development. And I've had many great interviews, but I've also had many, difficult interviews. So we all we live and learn. it's a growth experience. The pathway isn't easy, so enjoy it, which is very easier said than done. But this is why I have pads for these things. So I'll have
Mm.
a pad for like different things. So for example, this could be, usually I'll write, you know, so I did a course last year, so I had a book for that, and I had the title of the course on the front, and it just helps break everything down and keep it safe, so I can refer back to it. Um, I call it my learning Bible, so it's very important, and it's got everything in there that I need. So if you haven't already, get yourself a nice pad. And you can start to do your examples, and you can call it the interview preparation pad. So here are some other examples. So what are your strengths? Give an example of when you worked well in a team. How do you handle challenges? So here are some of the questions, and you can use the STAR method to show examples. Um, so for tell me about yourself. So I'll go first. You don't have to go. So I would say my name is Emma Honeyford. I'm a parent. I'm a mum, which is really important to me. But I'm also I work as a tutor for UK Versity. I'm very passionate about working with people to help with their education. I have a degree in human geography and a master's in sustainable development, and I am really passionate about supporting others in the transition for sustainable development. I'm really passionate also about social justice and social mobility. Um, so, what are your strengths? So, in this section, again, I'd go back to the job kind of the job detail. So, Christina, if you, for example, were to apply for a job role, you would,
Or
yeah,
your strength, or is it
say again, sorry.
about your strength?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't
Where
worry, you
is
don't
it?
need to answer now. But
I know. Where is it? Where is the question?
mhm.
Can you ask the question again?
Oh, sorry. So, I was just kind of talking it through. So, what are your strengths? So, if you were to,
Um, if it's me, my strength.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
um, um, anyway, I work best either in a team or alone,
mm-hmm,
and then with or without pressure, because
mm-hmm,
or without supervision,
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah,
a good communicator,
yeah,
and I'm always ready to listen.
perfect. That's perfect. So, you've shown through that example, you're both able to work individually in projects. You have initiative, but you're also good at working in teams, which shows like teamwork and collaboration. Um, you've got very good communication skills. I know that you show up every week. You are committed, which is really positive. So you have a lot of good strengths and skills, Christina. Um, So, given the next one is all around an example of when you worked well in a team. So, you don't have to answer this one, but I think it's just to have awareness in your head that using the STAR example. So, preparing a STAR example that showed teamwork and problem solving will make sure that you're prepared. Um, and then the STAR method, when you use the STAR method, it'll really bring out some of them key behaviours and competencies that the employer might be looking for, that you'll already have an answer prepared for. So the next
Mm.
question, does that make
So
sense?
for that, for example, the one I'm working on, um, I was taking care of autistic child
Okay.
with a challenging behavior and at the same time epileptic.
Oh, wow.
And this boy, when he goes to town, in fact, he's something else. It's not easy to handle.
I'm
But
sure. Yeah.
one time I took him from school. As soon as we dropped off the van, he took to his heels, running away. He didn't want to. In fact, he's absconder.
Oh,
So as soon as he started running, I have to go after him
yeah.
and see where he's going to. So I quickly signaled the driver to go the other way and then meet us on the way.
Okay. Wow.
Because if care is not taken and he crosses the road and a car knocks him or any other thing, we will be in trouble.
Of
So
course.
that, in fact, that day was really a challenging one for
Oh,
us.
yes. I bet
It
it
was,
was.
yeah, that was in London, Croydon.
Really.
It was
Old?
nice.
How old was he?
He's now 21.
Okay.
He's 21. It's not really, it's not easy. It's not
No.
easy. And this boy, either he slaps you, he can hit you at
Yeah.
any point in time. So I'm always careful.
Yeah.
Anytime he starts with anything, I have to quickly move a distance away from him. If
Hmm.
not, he can hit you. So that was really challenging and what word do I use? An unfortunate one, but once he needs help, we always have to offer.
And it's that doing that kind of work involves, it's a highly skilled role, but I don't think people understand how much you have to put into that situation. So you've got managing risk. So
Yeah.
you manage risk there. You had to think. You in that example that you showed me you have initiative. You thought to look to the driver to have a plan to keep this person safe. Which isn't easy when somebody isn't managing, isn't
Be-
keeping
Yeah,
themselves.
if it's left to me alone, the boy is really, it's like, I don't know how he runs, being
Yeah.
autistic, and when he's running, he's more than Hussein Bolt,
Right. Oh
very fast. So when
gosh.
I realized he's been running towards the street, the high street, I said, no, if I do not call this driver and he moves away, I'll be in trouble. So I quickly called him and said, take the other route. He's running towards this side. So I was still communicating with the driver whilst trying to locate where he will be passing.
Right.
Then we got hold of this boy, brought
Yeah.
him back home, and we told him not to do that again. Oh, it was so, so, so
Scary
horrible.
that. It's scary.
Yes, it was
Scary.
a lot. So
And it was
scary.
just one to one then? Was it just that was
Yes, it's 1-to-1. But
right.
when you're taking him to town, either
Mm,
you are 2 or 3,
okay.
because when he's in public, he's a different thing. It's a different ball game altogether. But
Yeah,
when he's out,
of course.
yeah, when he's at home, it's a different thing.
Hmm.
And when he's having his episodes, seizure episodes, it's also a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
So it was like you're managing, I don't know whether it's a 3 in 1 or 4 in 1. I can't tell.
Yeah, that is safeguarding is not easy, is it? Like
Yeah.
safeguarding another person who's putting themselves at risk. So you're not actually just managing your own behaviour. You're trying to help support somebody else's behaviour, who unfortunately, because of autism, hasn't got
And his is the severe one. His
that.
is very severe. And his seizure episode too is severe. It's like he can have it um um
Anytime.
about it's like any time. It can come at any time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the medicines he takes, looking at the doses, it means he's having a very severe
Hmm.
kind of seizure. Yeah, he's that like the grandma one. The is it the tonic? Um, what is it? I've forgotten the name, but his was so severe.
Oh goodness. Well,
It was,
it's an unfortunate but a good example to use. So maybe after here, before you forget it, write that down and some of the key skills that you got from that experience, because um, everything is a learning experience that you can use to put into interview situation as an answer. So yeah, so that's a really good example for Stina. So when, just moving on to the next section now, so when we're given the chance in an interview, so it's important that we do try to ask questions after the interviewer has finished. So maybe to ask a question of your own, such as you could ask about potential training, any support, any with like professional development, any expectations, and the day-to-day responsibilities of the role. So a question could be, what does a day in the life of a carer look like, or it's just really good to start to ask questions to show that you are interested and eager and keen. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. So professional conduct during the role play. So throughout our role play, we're going to stay polite, confident, and focused. We will greet the interviewer appropriately, thank them at the end, and show genuine interest in the role. We demonstrate that we can understand how to behave in a formal interview setting, and that we can communicate effectively under pressure. So just going back to your example there, sorry to go back, but a key thing to remember is that you are able to communicate effectively under pressure. So you absolutely have got that skill nailed down for Stina, before I forget. So outcome of the role play. So the role play can help us practice for real interviews techniques in a safe environment. So it helps to strengthen my confidence, highlighted areas I can improve, and prove that I can apply both verbal and non-verbal communication effectively in an interview situation. So do you remember the differences between verbal and non-verbal communication for Stina?
Yes, please.
Yeah, great. So the experience showed that I can present myself professionally and respond appropriately to a range of interview questions. So this is an example of how somebody has planned and participated in 2 different role play scenarios. So to demonstrate our interview skills, we can plan and take part in 2 different role plays, one formal interview and one informal interview. So when you do apply for a job, and then let's assume you're going to get an interview, which I know you will. It might look differently depending on who is giving the interview. So some organisations may do telephone interviews, some may do over the telephone, face to face, or some may do online. So it does look quite differently. So it's worth to ask, what kind of interview is this going to be, just so you can prepare. Obviously, if you're going to have to go in to meet them, then it may look differently in terms of like what you need to wear. And it's just good to be able to plan and get organised ahead of time. So each scenario requires a different approach, so we can prepare and participate in ways that match the style of the interview.
So with this, an interview can be formal or informal.
Yeah.
And it can be face to face or online.
Yeah, or on the telephone as well.
Okay.
Yeah. I think so. They will always tell you. So if they don't tell you if it's formal or informal, I would just assume it's formal. Just prepare on the basis that it's going to be formal. But these
So
are just
each of them, yours is to prepare for the interview. Be
yeah,
ready.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So this is an example. So to plan for a formal interview, we treat the preparation the same way that we prepare for a professional job interview. So I started by reviewing the role I was applying for and identify the key skills required. I prepared structured answers using the STAR method and selected examples from my past experience that showed communication, teamwork, and problem solving. I also planned what I would wear, choosing smart and professional clothing suitable for a formal setting. Before the role play, I rehearsed my introduction and a few answers to build confidence. So for the actual participation side, so during the role play, I made sure to come across as professional from the moment it started. Sorry. Bless me, sorry about that.
Bless you.
Thank you. I listened carefully to each question and responded clearly using examples that matched the skills the interview was looking for. I kept my tone steady and confident, and I avoided rambling by keeping my answers focused. At the end, I asked two prepared questions about the role and the training process. I thanked the interviewer and closed the interview professionally. So that's just a really good, some key pointers to think about there, which will help. So for an informal interview, looks a little bit differently, not too dissimilar. So to plan for an informal interview scenario, I planned in a slightly different way because the tone was more relaxed. Instead of rigid, structured answers, I focused on preparing conversational responses and thinking about how to build rapport naturally. I still reviewed my skills and examples, but I plan to deliver them in a lighter, more conversational tone. I chose smart casual clothing to match the informal setting. So if it is an informal interview and it's face to face, we're not going to have to wear, our fanciest clothes. We can be a bit more informal. So have that in your mind as well. So participation. So during the role play, I adopted my communication style to fit the informal environment. I kept my tone friendly, relaxed, and natural while staying professional. I used positive body language, nodded to show I was listening, and smiled when appropriate. When answering questions, I used real examples but delivered them more conversationally, which helped create a good connection with the interviewer. I also asked questions that felt appropriate for an informal setting, such as asked about team culture and development opportunities. And I made sure I stayed engaged and confident throughout the conversation. Does that make sense, Christina?
Yes, please.
So in terms of effectiveness across both of those different scenarios, so across both role plays, I demonstrated that I could adjust my communication style depending on the situation. In the formal interview, I showed structure, professionalism, and confidence. In the formal interview, I showed adaptability, rapport building, and a more relaxed but still focused approach. Planning ahead for both scenarios can help us participate effectively and present ourselves clearly. So I just think, if anything, I know that if I really prepare for an interview, I feel safer when I actually get there. I feel safe, I feel comfortable because I'm organised, I feel prepared. Okay, so here's some references. So if you do want to do any further reading, there's some good examples on here. There's a good book here. So Skills for Success, Personal Development and Employability, that's a good one. And having a look at different examples on the Moodle and YouTube is really helpful.
All right.
So if you can go away, a little bit of homework for our next session. Are you in work today, or are you free today?
For now, when we close from here, I'll go to town and do a bit of shopping.
Okay.
And then cook something for the week.
Okay. Nice. I'll just I'll stop the recording. So just to let everybody know, you can any questions questions that you have around role plays for interviews, if you give us an email at learnerwork@ukversity.co.uk. And a reminder that the submission for this assignment is to be done in 2 weeks of completion of the units and its delivery. So I'm going to stop the recording and then I'm going to ask you about your plans for today. So I will stop the recording. There we go.